Being sensitive is so important. So in this video, I'll teach you all about sensitivity, analysis, and how to run numerous financial modeling scenarios using Excel data tables. Sensitivity analysis means that you're trying to test what happens to one model output when you change one or more model inputs. For example, we can take a look at what happens to 2014 projected EPS when we change the revenue growth or the gross margin. Now, if we increase 2014 organic revenue growth to 5% from 2%, cash EPS rises to 77 cents. Similarly, if we increase the gross margin to 95%, cash EPS increases again to 81 cents. A sensitivity analysis would usually look at several different such scenarios, typically at least three: a baseline scenario, an upside scenario, and a downside scenario. Excel data tables are a quick and painless way to run sensitivities on numerous scenarios instead of manually changing inputs as we just did. To set up a data table, we first link the statistic we want to sensitize to somewhere where there is enough space for a 3x3 matrix. In this case, we'll take 2014 cash EPS and link that to the right of our model using the paste special command. We then choose different levels for the model inputs we're trying to sensitize. We'll go with 1%, 2%, and 5% for sales growth, and 90%, 92.5%, and 95% for the gross margin. Now, to calculate our data table, we first highlight the entire matrix using Shift and the arrow buttons, then press Alt-A to get to the data menu, then W to access the what if analysis submenu, and T for data tables. In the data table pop-up, you'll see the first thing that you have to enter is the row input cell. So you'll go, in our case, to cell E4, where sales growth is modified in our model. The logic here is that in our data table, we've entered the three different values we're testing for 2014 sales growth: the 1% downside case, 2% base case, and 5% upside case, into one row. That's why our row input is going to be the cell in our model where sales growth is modified. Again, that's cell E4 in our model. We hit the Tab key to move to the column input cell, then arrow to cell E9. E9 is the cell where our other input, the gross margin, is modified in our model. Again, E9 is the column input cell because the three different values we're running as gross margin scenarios are all entered into one column in our data table. We can now hit Enter, and you see the data table calculates automatically. We'll format our data table a bit for better readability, copying down existing formats using the paste special command we discussed in our last video. Now, looking at the table, you can see 9 different 2014 cash EPS scenarios. It's now very important to check that your data table is calculating correctly. You see, for example, that at 2% sales growth and a 90% gross margin, our data table shows that cash EPS should be 68 cents. So if we go up to our model and we punch in 2% for sales growth and a 90% margin, you see here the cash EPS shows 68 cents, so we're confident that our data table is calculating correctly. If you liked today's video and would like to learn more about financial modeling, click the link right now and sign up for our free intro to financial modeling.